It is my great pleasure and honor to introduce our presenter today. Mark Stanton Welch is not only a singer, a songwriter, and a sound alchemist who will delight us with the power of the vibrational healing of the music he composes. He's also a spiritual mentor, a facilitator of change, an educator, and a visionary. And with that much alchemy, is it any wonder that when he whispered that little desire that maybe he was traveling too much, sharing the music all around the world, COVID started to close the borders, and he now has to stay in that lovely California, Cambria town and area. And we're so grateful to have him here via Zoom, sharing with us the talk entitled Human and so much more. Here comes Mark Stanton Welsh. Please help me welcome.
Ta-da!
Ta-da.
Don't you love it? Don't you just love these times and the unfolding and the power of a request that is heartfelt, and how we are growing in our capacity to make manifest that which we desire oh so much more quickly in these days. It's as if we're reclaiming our power. It's as if we're finding a deeper truth about ourselves that has been masked for oh so long. And so in a sense, the statement about me desiring to travel less and then making fun of it in the sense of saying, well, I didn't mean to cause it this way. It's kind of a tongue-in-cheek recognition of the power that exists within us and that we are recovering and reclaiming. It is a mighty power. And when unified with our blessed Mother Earth, the living organism, Gaia, we find that in some ways we are uber celestial, that we are in unification with the cosmos and have always been. And as we begin to integrate those kinds of ideas, as many of you already do, we begin to see a world in change and a world in flux. And so this is what we're experiencing in today's sharing will be to reconnect, reactivate, reawaken our deeper and more profound connection with our living, loving planet, sweet Gaia. But first I have to get something off my chest here. Well, it's not actually on my chest, but you know how the skin is such a beautiful clearing and cleansing organism. In fact, it's the greatest mechanism we have for getting clear. And in these times when energy is moving so quickly, things are happening. So I had a little blemish. And oh no, I'm going to be on camera, so I'm going to have to, let me see what I can do with it. So I brought some focus to it. And I used to be a Melaleuca dealer, multi-level marketer. And I had a bottle of Melaleuca oil from 1983. I figured it was good stuff. It was still useful. And I guess I didn't read the thing about don't put it on your skin, but I did. And so the little place that I was trying to hide suddenly became a little bit larger. And then when I saw it on camera this morning, I kind of went, oh, wow. Today's about beauty, isn't it? Today is also about accepting the greater picture of what is. So I just wanted to put that out so I wouldn't be distracted that if you see this little spot here, see, I just brought attention to it, right? And in doing so, I'm going to move on now because I know you'll go, oh, that's just him putting his power to work. Amen. Here we are. That was not how I was going to start today. My life is unwritten, no path is defined. It moves from these moments I choose. If I want beauty to be that I am, let love be my nourishing food. Surrendering flow to the river. adrift in the whisper of Om. Align me through light and deliver. Carry me home. What a beautiful delight to be here at Unity of White Rock. It's been quite some time. I was there once. I'm not even remembering how long ago it was, but I do recall you were in a different location and I had a beautiful opportunity to explore the area. Desiree was my host and we were able to experience a lot of the parts of it by being up there for I think 2 or 3 days. Loved it. And once I get back across the border, I swore I was going to come back. Little did I know it was going to be virtually. So here from the coast of California, somewhere in the center, a little town called Cambria, I'm delighted to be in your presence. And thank you, Desiree and Angelica and others for making this happen by making the call. So, 1987. In a way, 1987 was a starting point for me in my journey of deeper reconnection with this living planet Earth. I had been interested for a long time, basically because of Earth Day. And as a songwriter, it was such a beautiful source of information, idea, lyric, and song that I had been singing songs since the very first Earth Days. And myself and my former wife, Erin Noble, we were sharing music back in those days. Some songs I'm going to share today come out of that period of time. But something happened in 1987 when, as a member of Unity of San Luis Obispo, California, there came a call across the New Age lines that said, it's the harmonic convergence. And the harmonic convergence in 1987 invited anyone of an awareness and a willingness to go to a power spot, whatever that was. Go to some place you're getting called to go to. So myself and a friend, Bill, from the congregation, I got one person to come with me, we headed up to Mount Shasta. And we spent a weekend there on the mountain wondering what the heck we were doing. With 2,000 other people, we walked around and kind of just held space. And that was the critical element. We showed up and we held space. That vibration that around the world was started with these pockets and this enclave of little groups of people in power spots was a good faith move in a sense that the cosmos said, they're ready. And so began 25 years of a cycle that led up to 2012. And many of you know we personally have gone through so many ends of the world potential. 2012 seemed to be the one that was going to take hold. And so it was a curious time of significant transformation. And once we made it through and stood squarely on the first soil of the Aquarian age, we began to look forward to a new world unfolding, which brings us to 2020. I just realized this yesterday. I was giving some thought to this about how long it was since 1987. It's been 33 years. That brings us to this period of time. Now, 33 is one of those master numbers. It's one of those angel numbers. It's a significant thing. It's how long Jesus was on the earth, if you want that reference. I looked up 33, and it said it's a number of change, of compassion, of creativity, elevation and support of humankind, optimism, selflessness, lifting into higher plane frequency, nurturing, healing. Hello, 2020. Is it of any accident that 33 years later, we stand in this year where balance seems to be the element of what's happening, but at first glance, it sure doesn't look like it's in balance. And this is what we're dealing with today. More on that in a moment. I have a guest for you. She'll sing her way into this. Round and round through boundless time, I have spun through space, with love I shine so brightly. Some have called me Earth, but you can call me Gaia. With water, air, and soil too, I have been the perfect home to all you creatures. Some have called me Earth, but you can call me Gaia. I let you walk upon my skin. I let you drill your holes deep within me. I gave you everything that you ever dreamed of. I let you sail upon my waters, helped you raise your sons and your daughters. All I ever wanted was your love. Think of me as being alive when I am hurt. Just like you, I cry. Some have called me Earth, but you can call me Gaia. Love me, do not abuse me, and I will be here endlessly. Oh, love me, do not abuse me, and I will be here endlessly. Oh, love me, do not abuse me. I will be here endlessly for you. It was somewhere in the 1960s, a fellow named James Lovelock put forth an idea about a living planet, a planet called Gaia. And from that point, which gave birth to, in a sense, the Earth days themselves, a relationship began to develop. Not that it wasn't there before, but we're talking a relationship that was started with, we'll call it civilization. Because long before, in the indigenous cultures of this great land, great world, we have seen the connection with spirit earth, heaven and earth that has occurred between the peoples of greater awareness and consciousness. In fact, I think it was Black Elk who said, what were those words? This is kind of a paraphrase, but basically that whatever befalls the earth, so too befalls humans. So we're starting to see that play itself out here. And this is the excitement of the times and the reason to spend our time this morning looking at amplifying, igniting that relationship of beauty between us and our symbiotic host, Gaia. The idea started to develop, and in a book called The Path of Energy, Dr. Cynthia Andrews had this to say. She says, it is a call to holographic awareness to acknowledge that each person's individual transmission is reflected in the whole. Every thought, every behavior, every action of each person creates the fabric of the Earth's consciousness, the vibration of our collective frequency. She goes on to say, the Earth essentially has the same energy structure as humans. It has an aura, chakras that are as vortices, sacred sites, and power spots, and meridians that are called ley lines. The structures serve to transmit information from the larger universe through the Earth to all the individual life forms, you and me. The Earth receives energy transmission from the planetary bodies, the spiritual dimensions, and the galactic center. The Earth's aura transmits the collective frequency of the planet out into the universe, providing information about the inhabitants of this planet. Humans are a part of a conscious feedback system to the universe, helping direct the evolution of the whole. Whew. I had no idea. I just thought I loved to be out in nature. Well, you and I both know there's a reason and a depth to this connection that we are activating, reactivating this morning. One more thing from the various higher celestial realms, some information started to come in lastly on Gaia that said that Gaia was a 12th dimensional high frequency being who volunteered to be the host for humanity. So high in frequency that she made manifest this planet that would provide us everything we would need to thrive, not just survive, but to thrive. Now, keeping that in mind, it creates a very different relationship with the ground that I walk on, with the air that I breathe, with the beauty I see in a moment of living as I look out, as I hear out, as I touch out, as I taste out, and bring those into my being to get information, have a relationship, expand, evolve, and send messages out to be given and taken so that we increase the vibration of the collective experience. Wow. I don't know about you, but to me that means something. And I'm going to say that through the rest of our time this morning, a couple phrases are important, a couple ideas. One is nothing is as it seems. When we take this position, we step back and see what is always there, the bigger picture. So nothing is as it seems. The other is that all is vibration, and that vibration is in constant oscillation, changing form to form to form. Change is constant. We've used that. We've heard it. But here we are at a point now where we're going to take advantage of that and use that frequency to be a part of the conscious expansion and connection. So, the beauty we see reflects the beauty within. The beauty within is reflected in the beauty we see. One of my joyful opportunities is to take my camera down to the coast at the end of the day where I download but also watch the interplay of light, water, sand, sky, and earth. And I want to use some photos here to amplify the vibration that is being given to us on a constant basis if we pay attention. Well, even when we don't pay attention. Here we see that line between water and sand and light, and at the end of the day, when it turns gold and red gold, where we are reminded of the ever-changing frequency that we hold. And we move to the next. The fire within, the opportunity to express through the solar plexus chakra, the vibration of action, is a part of the essence of what we are. Do we see this when we watch an explosion of a firework? Or are we able to witness this kind of magnificence in a stopped picture? If this picture was out a little farther, you would see the coastline, and this is actually a large single angel wing that goes right along the coastal highway there that's pretty magnificent. Always we are in relationship and watched over if we pay attention and if we access that connection. Thank you. Things are in order. Things have a process to them. And in the chaos, there is an order we create in the moment. The deeper relationship we have is when we allow ourselves to flow in that alignment, which is what we are learning to do in these times. Look at the beauty and the magnificence of the moment as these leaves in the fall. These are grape leaves, I believe. The fall is a time that calls us to go back home inwardly as we begin to jettison and release that which doesn't serve us anymore, and we let it go to create the open space inwardly so that we can go ahead and use the winter to plant the seeds that will develop into the spring. Do we see that? Do we realize the deep connection we have with the beings that come into our lives and how those beings, in a sense, come and go? And they touch us incredibly deeply, reminding us of the loyalty that we have primarily to ourselves. They come to teach. How is your connection with this part of the natural world? Vignettes, moments captured, artworks. The splash of the ocean wave against a rock creates an ever-changing series of pictures that are breathtaking. Getting grounded, getting solid on the earth is to realize that This is what we need to be doing on a constant basis. You notice a little one up there who basically still remembers the connection between heaven and earth and is actually doing both. And he's using his father as a conduit. Get connected. And we will do that during the meditation that's soon to follow. The light that we are, the light that exists, it can be seen with the naked eye when we allow ourselves to raise vibration and to open up through the heart. And this, in a sense, is what these times are about. Forced awakening. The light and the dark, the interplay between that which appears to be and that which is. We dance in that line in between, and the energy of those feed us. This is a powerful connection that leads us to the bird that we just saw there. This is an egret that flew up off the shore there, and we are given wings to fly through the moments of living when we make our connection and solidify our relationship with the living planet. If we could see up at the top part of this particular picture, you've got a line of light going straight up to the heavens. And we basically can see at the end of the day, you see how color leads you back down through the body, through the chakra colors, through the yellows, the oranges, the reds, and then finally into the darkness. We are called back to our body at the end of the day. This is what a sunset will do. And sometimes it's incredibly visible. When we connect with the bottom, we also still have that connection through the crown. Sometimes we need a recharge. Now, there is a person here on the right that needs a recharge and a reset to remember the magnificence and the beauty of who they are. Nature provides that endlessly. We find a spot where we are inspired and in awe, and that re-triggers our own awareness of our own magnificence, and we reclaim the beauty that exists always there, whether we see it or not. Emotions are the flow of life. It's the juice. It's one of the reasons to come to Earth, because the rules of the game are that we have these vibrational elements that create the richness of living. The rivulets, the rivers that can happen there, they build these patterns in these places but they're ever changing. As we allow the emotion to move, we are in connection with the earth, the water, the rain, all of those magnificent elements. Again, between light and dark, at the end of the day, we get a reset. That point when we let go of the light and we enter the darkness, we get the opportunity to lay cleanse, to reestablish the connection, to travel within and without, and create the new vibration for the following morning when the process reverses itself, and we climb out of the darkness and are born again into the light every day. Twice a day. Do you use it? Do you see the sand people? Do you see that the energetics of the earth reveal themselves sometimes in just the nuance of how water drifts back from a wave that came high upon the shore? The sand people are always inviting you to see the bigger picture and to connect on the larger level. Light beings. The illusion of our solidarity, is that the right word? Solidness is just that, an illusion. As beings of light, we can be in form and we are oh so much more. These birds remind us of that essence that flows within and without. Call upon it. Oftentimes in the clouds, we are given visions of moments. And in this particular one, on a drive north going to Washington, there was a cloud in the sky for a long period of time right near Mount Shasta. If you can see in the center, you can see what looks to me like a head and a neck and the body of a child who is present and watching over and, in a sense, giving birth to the next moment. Watch the clouds. This is Tessie. The moment of transition between here and gone is but a wisp. The connection with Earth, you can see in that front foot as she steps out of body and begins to allow herself to be fully present in a new form leaving the rich tableau of memory that is a part of our heart and our cells and our being. When Tessie said goodbye that day, the following day in the clouds, you can just begin to make out what I see in the picture there in the front, a reminder from Tessie that says, hey, everything's okay. So you see a little nose, some eyes. Yes, it looks a little like a Wolverine, but at times we claim what we can get. And so Tessie came back and said hello. The connection is endless that we have. And finally, the fun of life is to ride the edge of the wave. And these little birds, they love to go up to the edge of the wave, and when it comes, they all run back in mass. And here they are doing the dance. We are being invited to ride the front wave, to trust the flow of life, to use the earth connection to establish our capacity to do magnificent things. So let's get that activated. What you're seeing here is a particular picture. So as we move towards a point of meditation, we want to go into the body. I'm going to do a song here just one time through. Solid on the earth, my roots go down. Solid on the earth, my roots go down. Solid on the earth, my roots go down. Down into the earth, my roots go down. Grounded, balanced, feel myself upon the earth, fully in the moment. Feel it as the energy tingles my feet, rising up to the heart of me. Solid on the earth, my roots go down. Solid on the earth, my roots go down. Solid on the earth, my roots go down. Down into the earth, my roots go down. Now, taking a breath, becoming aware of your feet in this connection with the earth, we witness a solo being on top of a huge rock. Underneath a sky that is filled with all kinds of energies and vibrations, potential chaos, rains falling here and there, and we stand solidly on the earth. This is essential in these times to create and maintain this. So what I'm going to invite us to do through a brief ritual here is to reactivate a consciously revealing chakra called the Earth Star chakra that's about 18 inches below the feet. I want you to get the vision that it is an oval that connects at the earth. On the left side, the earth frequency comes up through the left leg, and on the right side of that oval, the energy flows out from the body back into the earth to be used as a vibration. It creates a cycle. And the circle of energy that moves through is a constant companion of our energetic design. When you activate it consciously, what you are able to do then is to use it, which we'll do in this moment. If you want to keep your eyes open and watch this being in the center here who is basically connected no matter what goes on, use that. Otherwise, close your eyes and go within as we follow this process. Take a breath. Breathe again through the belly, all the way down into the belly. This time breathe deeper, if you will, and let that belly breath move down through the pelvis, down through both legs to connect to the feet. And now, as you breathe in again, the whole body breathes and establishes this connection down to the feet, down below to the Earth Star chakra. Bringing greater attention to the left foot, activate a sense, a vibration there that recognizes the earth energy coming up through the left foot as it moves up through the left side, the left leg, up through the pelvis, up into the area of the entire body on the left side. Using the awareness of that vibration being there, knowing that it is empowering, cleansing, clearing, and amplifying the higher vibration, we intentionally put it into motion. Being aware of the genital area where the root chakra is housed, we send energy from this conduit coming up through the left right across through that root chakra, cleansing and clearing any vibration that is lower than the true frequency of your own I am that I am, expressing as me. You run it across into the river that flows down the right side, down the left leg, down the right leg, into the earth, through the earth star, to be used as energy. With that energy moving across the root, we go farther up and allow the conduit to cross at the sacral chakra. 2 inches below the navel, it sweeps through the area of the juiciness of life, taking any frequencies that are of lower vibration and washing them out with any need to understand any of it. And it too joins the river down the right side and flows out. We move again now to the conduit of energy coming up from the earth, empowering, and we sweep it across the solar plexus just below the rib cage, taking away the energies of anger, of judgment, of criticism, the inability to take action. We sweep anything across there and sweep it out and send it down the river of the right side, out through the right foot. Moving up again on the left side through the heart, we allow it to sweep through and like tiny hands and combs, cleansing out any vibration of lower frequency, any of the wounds of relationship, any sadness, any unprocessed grief, anything that's carried, we sweep it through and it goes down the right side to be washed and given back to the earth, which will utilize it as frequency and as vibration. And finally, up into the throat chakra, we move across through there, cleansing any energies of unspoken words, the unprocessed woundings, etc., the words that have not been spoken, the sounds that have not been made, the songs that have been swallowed, all of that cleared and cleansed by this beautiful, magnificent energy of the earth, out through the right side, down the river, cleansed, cleared, and we're stopping there as far as going up higher, because right now being physically in the body is from the root, or from the throat down to the root. This is where the juice of life is, and the cleansings will open up all the conduits above if we cleanse this area. Know, please, that this conduit is working 24/7. As you become aware of your own senses in the body, you notice when something's happening in a particular area, like the belly, like the root, like the solar plexus, the heart region. Call upon this frequency to sweep through and cleanse. No analysis is necessary, just the recognition that it's all energy and vibration, for nothing is as it seems. Now, in this frequency of a greater cleanse and the activation of this root earth star chakra, we allow ourselves to open eyes, and we allow ourselves to stand in this connected place. I sit out under blue sky, cradled in the valley, and the green grass tickle me. My heart does glow. I feel the pulse, the rhythm of a living evolution, and the earth mother kiss me. Pure love. I see the sun shine down, bring life to all the children, and the pretty deer pause in their afternoon stroll. I hear the call from a red tail, lift my eyes to heaven, the earth mother kiss me. Pure love. Fill me up with timeless beauty, bring that holy essence to me now. And never let me turn away, keep my focus on the way of love. To earth I give my hand, everything I am. I pledge from in my soul, I will help to keep you whole all these days of my life. I see the soil so graciously let me trot upon her. She cushioned my body every time I fall down. I take the wheat grass sprout, purify my physical. The earth mother kiss me with pure love. I watch the rain cloud dance, pulling on the west wind as the day walks down quiet country road. I hear the voice of eternity thunder in the canyon. The earth mother kiss me, pure love. Bless you, earth, for all that you have given me. I'll never, never hurt you. On me you can rely. I bless you, earth, for all that you have given me. I'll never, never hurt you. On me you can rely. Affirm it. Bless you, earth, for all that you have given me. I'll never, never hurt you. On me you can rely. I bless you, earth, for all you have given me. I'll never, never hurt you. On me you can rely. Everything we're doing is amplifying the awareness of the connection. Our eyes are meant to see what is, whether it's beauty, whether it's a form that we have judgment about, it doesn't matter. We see it, we integrate it, we experience it, and we have the full flavor of the moment. Which brings us to these times in 2020. We could wax poetically about what's occurring. We all know that something's up. We can all feel it if we have any kind of level of awareness, which most of us do since we're on this call. No, we're not going there yet, unless it's time. I don't have any sense of the time that's going on. So next time I see that, that will tell me that we need to move into that, okay? That would be very helpful for me. Oh, I guess it is time. Okay. Well, give me one moment to segue into this. Let's go back to that photo. Thank you so much. What's occurred during these times, in my opinion, when I came home from Arizona in April on a trip out there and was basically told California is shutting down, I scooted across the border thinking I was or wasn't going to get there, but I made it home to be told stay in place. And in the process of doing that, I found myself with an assignment. The assignment said write 33 songs. There's that 33 again. I thought, okay, well, looks like I have time on my hands. And through that process, I began to be able to work my way back into myself to clear, cleanse, and to let go. It has been a powerful process. And I submit that in many ways, this is indeed what you were going through as well on some form. We are being invited by a loving cosmos and an earth that is in symbiosis with us to actually create an opportunity for us to reclaim, through remembering, the truth of our being. And in this process, we end up finding a way home. And in the finding of the way home, this is what this time is inviting us to do. So I am going to play a song here called I Found Myself a Home, which will then lead us into taking some action. So my apologies if I'm going just a little bit over, but I'm going to do this. I used to travel around the world looking for what I thought it was anywhere that I was not. The hole there within me was bigger than the sky. It seemed I was lost. I did not know why. Then along came a virus. It forced me to stay. And that's when I found it. It was not far away. And when I was finally alone, I found myself a home. I never seemed to be satisfied with who I was. Thought I needed to change sometimes just because I could not see the beauty there in my eyes. Always looking out there in a fine-tuned disguise. When along came a virus that forced me to stay. And that's when I found it. It was not far away. It was when I was finally alone that I found myself a home. For all the times I turned my back on me, all the times I ran away, never taking time to feed myself love that I craved, for spinning tales, wandering, ignoring the call, for acting like I did not care at all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Well, these are different days. They got a brand new frequency. The more I look in, the more love I can see. I have to thank this universe for the gift I've received. The whole world has been sent to a room just to think about, figure out, turn around, find who they are. 'Cause along came a virus, and it's forced us to stay. And that's where we'll find it. And it's not that far away. And when we are finally alone, we'll find ourselves a home. Staying in place has allowed nature to come back. I don't know about you, but about the first couple of weeks, I was able to go out into the natural world, and it felt so different. It felt peaceful, connected. The colors were brighter. Maybe I was shifting, yes, you think, but I was able to reconnect, and things felt more connected and alive. That is not going away. The virus, in many ways, has been a vehicle to bring us back to the point of awareness, to reawaken our bigger connection here with the earth, here within ourselves. We find our inner home to then expand it out in the connected and collective home with our blessed living planet Gaia. And until we get that, likely we're still going to be dealing with this virus. So the invitation is to take stock, take action, and let go of that which no longer serves you. All the things that no longer witness your magnificence need to be jettisoned, consciously letting go of that which does not serve the greater vibration of you. And in that end, this spoken thing keeps showing itself, and this is where we can actually do it. It involves us actually taking action here, and we're going to use the spoken word. So if you bring that slide up of the words, there we go. I know it looks like a lot, and in some ways it is, but we're putting these things into motion, and we're going to say this together out loud. And I'm going to invite us to speak it at the same time. Obviously, you put your birth name in there, your first, your middle, your last name that you came with, because it carries a frequency that is unlike anything that you've become. It's a frequency of wholeness that goes back to all of the incarnations. So I would say, I, Mark Stanton Welch, and then speak this. So I invite you together. First, take a breath, be aware of your feet on the earth. And here we go. I, Mark Stanton Welch, now fully remember my point of incarnation into this life. I easily recall my purpose, my desires, my learnings, my yearnings, my work, my relationships, my past lives. I invite and embrace my expanded state of knowing how this universe works, my relationship with Source, my expanded senses and capabilities, my multidimensional selves, my guides, teachers, and etheric beings, my skills and talents. I know that at any time I can revisit the entry point and set new intentions that will be made manifest in my current life. I celebrate the ongoing flow and continuity of my I am that I am expressing as me, and completely support my soul's unique journey in this human physical body with unconditional love, compassion, and empathy. In this flow, on this living host, Gaia, I allow life to feed me and bring forth a grand adventure that births the whole of me in all my moments. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. This proclamation is now in place and is enacted for you to move in good faith, to utilize it, embrace it, and live in this frequency. With that in mind, we have one more to speak. Take a breath. Be aware of your feet. Be aware of your connection with the earth, of that earth star. As the energy flows up through the left side, we begin together. I, Mark Stanton Welch, now fully proclaim my true self on all levels and in all dimensions throughout all my energy bodies. I reawaken all my skills and talents, my power, my courage, my abundance, my will, my clarity, my knowledge, my love, my value, my playfulness, my health, my joy, my sense of wonder, my open communication with my guides and teachers, and my love for exploration and adventure. I claim the nurturing, loving, reliable, committed, ever present, joy filled primary relationship with my inner child self. I call forth, accept, and utilize all the gifts, love, joy, and peace this benevolent multiverse has to offer. And so it is, and so it is. And now I strictly invite you and apologize for going a little bit longer, or maybe a lot longer. My apologies on that. We'll blame spirit for channeling that kind of stuff through me in a sense. So I invite you, please take time to infuse yourself with appreciation, with gratitude, and with blessings, and be connected to what you are doing. See beauty and love in all the forms of life. Choose to create separation from the lower frequency elements that are familiar but serve only to compromise your vibration. These are new times, and in this unification of heaven and earth, with human in the center at the heart, we can create that which we are destined to create, that which we are making in the happen in the moment. So the last thing, make sure you vote. And there you go. Ah.
Wow, thank you, Mark. Oh my goodness. Make sure you vote. Well, we actually have a provincial election next Saturday, so it kind of pertains to us as
Oh,
we're
you're
in
right. Well,
Canada, right?
call your U.S. friends. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Mark, for your life-affirming, inspiring message, your clearing and grounding meditation, and above all, your heartfelt, truth-affirming, and very comforting music.
Thank you.
We are so blessed. It's been such a delight to have you join us today, and we look forward to having you join us again, and perhaps maybe even doing a concert or something
Oh, I'd love to
fun,
do something. Yeah.
something along those lines where we get moving and all that. So,
Oh, and let me just say
yes.
this real quick, is that I'll send a link to you by tomorrow that will have information
Right,
pertaining to the
from those
talk,
last
with
two.
some resources that can also
Okay.
support it. And then
And those writings, if we wanted to have a copy of those, we can put
I'll
that,
put I'll
put
put
it in
all of
there.
that in that
Wonderful. Thank
page.
you.
You
Thank you.